you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
Well, you're seeing something that I haven't really seen any more than you guys have, and that's the outside. I've been ill. I've been ill for a whole bunch of different reasons. As the tail end of our last video said, I said something about we actually got the positive on our vid test. I don't want to say the words just in case there's some kind of a algorithm that shuts me off on YouTube because of it. But the other thing that happened then was a problem with sciatica. I've never had that before, ever. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I was sitting a lot. And like my big toe on my right foot is numb. My calf is numb. And there's times of the day that I go through pain that I can't describe in any other way than years ago I had to get a tricillin shot. So when the nurse came in with the needle, I rolled up my sleeve. She goes, "Oh no, honey, this one's got to go down below." So she shot me in my buttocks with this needle, and the pain was immediate. Like, oh my God, it just went all the way down my whole leg. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm having that shot sometimes 15 minutes straight. And it takes everything I can to try to make it go away. But anyways, enough about my stupid health. Let's go ahead and show you why I'm out here. Ohio. I can't avoid Ohio. So, like I said, I haven't been out for some time. And I hate the fact that we have snow on our porch. I think maybe by next winter, if we're still here and we still have full plans on being here, which I'm sure we will, I think that we might entertain the thought of enclosing this. Our last house, I enclosed the porch myself, but this has such a unique archway, the way that it's shaped. I think we'd have to have somebody else come in here and do it, and hopefully they do a good job. Now this is going to kill me. This is going to be all over me. The wind's blowing just the right way. Yep. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to blow off all the snow. Nice neighbor lady. I'm going to blow off all the snow and get the snow blower out and do the sidewalk, possibly, if this don't take care of it.
What kind of racing is that? Got one racing the other. Look at them go. I know it's raining outside, but it sounds funny hearing it so clear down here. Holy cow, it's been a while, guys, and I've shot this video a few times, and I'm trying to find a way, well, the camera moved on us, that I can talk about this in a way that doesn't drag out too long. But I have a lot of subject matter to cover. Where have we been? We've been here. We had our duct work. We had guys come in and clean out the duct work for us. We got a UV light in our furnace. We're trying to clean up the air inside because I've had sinus problems pretty much ever since we moved in this place. We think we covered some of that. We're now into a warmer day. Today is going to be 74, I think. You saw in the beginning of the video we had snow, but that was a while ago. I just haven't had any content really to post. Plus we got sick, so I didn't feel like doing anything. I got some sort of sciatic thing going on. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that, but man, it's crazy. How can you be sitting and hurting? That doesn't make any sense. The house has a few more repairs that we need to do moving forward, but I wanted to talk to you guys about things that are just generalized. So first I'm going to give you the topics. Heidi's not going to be scantily dressed, bouncing around in front of the camera. We're not going to move into a new RV until we know what our RV lifestyle is going to look like. This isn't our forever home, and moving could be happening at some point. And the video frequency is going to continue to probably be what it is currently, because of the content and the amount of content that we have. So those are kind of the topics. Let me see if I can keep them in order. What was the first thing? Heidi. First thing was Heidi. Heidi's number one. So although we can see a definite upswing in subscribers and even a huge upswing in video views, we didn't do it on purpose. Heidi dresses the way she dresses. We did one video that she dressed in a way that we had all the women saying, young miss, you need to close your top up. It's a little bit too low cut. And then we had a bunch of guys comment like, oh, I love the top. And it's like, whoa, what the hell? I see her all the time, so I'm used to that. I mean, she, like I said, she just dresses the way she dresses, but she doesn't do any of that on purpose. She doesn't do that for views, or she doesn't do that for people to, oh, look at me, and I'm going to put on my tightest, lowest cut blouse, and I'm going to bounce around in front of the camera to get views. That's not going to happen. I told Heidi, I said, you know what, if I want to, I can start another channel and have 150,000 subscribers within a couple years if I wanted to play that whole fake thing of making it more sensational than what it really is. And that is, you know, just even the intros would be like, hey, what's happening? It's your boy Mike, and I'm here to tell you what's happening today. It is incredible. You're going to want to listen to this. This truck has been giving me so much problems. I'm stopping it now. You know, and just doing crazy stuff. You seen how much more interaction you had with your screen just then? You're like, whoa, whoa. Well, that's what they do. They get you all trapped in there. Doesn't necessarily mean it's any more content. They're just feeding you donuts. It's just lots of donuts and cookies. Everybody loves donuts and cookies until you get sick or tired of donuts and cookies. We're not doing that. We're not going to do that to make our subscriber count go crazy. The second thing, what was the second thing, guys? Our RV lifestyle and what that looks like and getting into another RV. We haven't even really started looking hard for an RV because we don't know what we want to do. If we can arrange it in a manner that we're going to start snowbirding, of course, 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months in another state, you want to have a completely different RV than you do if you're just traveling on the weekends. And I'm talking about more substantial, a more better RV. There's some people out there that think that they can get away, and they have. Don't get me wrong, there are some people that have done it. But I don't know at what expense. That they have a 43-foot fifth wheel, 100-inch wide or whatever, and they've got a big dually diesel, and they travel everywhere. They can't get into some campgrounds, but they get into where they want to go. They just find a way to make it work. I get it. I mean, if you're living in it full time, it was nicer when we got into that fifth wheel compared to our travel trailer. But we were doing it with our travel trailer, and we covered a lot of grounds with our travel trailer. So we don't know what that's going to look like. So there's no sense in us trying to shop for something. Unless some kind of a great deal just falls into our lap. That would make our decision a lot easier. So the other thing that we're looking at is the house, the home, and what we plan on doing. Well, Heidi and I have discussed it many times, and off camera, we've talked about it. We are just like anybody else. Sometimes we don't necessarily have a plan, and we just wait to see what transpires. Now, Heidi, the work that she's doing is just, really, she likes it. She's getting to where she's in a real groove at her work now. She likes what she's doing. With that said, that means that now, this house was supposed to just be a temporary home for just a couple years, maybe 3 years. We may make it still a temporary home for that same time, or we may sell this and move to another home that still allow Heidi to get to her work where she's at. And the reason is quite honestly, the house has gotten to the point where we think that we can actually turn it over and probably make a little bit of money on it. And that's a good thing. It's working out that we actually have Kimberly-Clark building where there used to be a steel mill. And if you know anything about this area, the steel mills, when they left, everybody, it got bad. The Rust Belt, it just got really bad here back in the 70s, 80s, when they started closing down all these plants. So it's kind of nice that we have a plant, Kimberly-Clark, that's building, and they're only, I don't know, maybe 2 miles away. They're going to have, 1,300 employees that are looking for a decent home to live in, and they could ride their bikes there. They could walk if they wanted. This is a great home for somebody that's looking for a place close to their new work. So that might work to our benefit. So don't be surprised if we don't start talking about maybe looking at homes, and it could be in this area. It could be in Ohio. Could be down south. Heidi wants to stay at her work for a little bit longer than what she originally planned. She said 2 years. She actually has a contract with her boss that she signed when she, rehired. And it basically said, hey, you're going to stay at least 2 years with the company. Because he wants her. He wants her for the rest of her life. But that 2 years was what she planned. But she's kind of lengthened that a little bit. So good for her. I'm glad that she decided she likes that. And kind of good for us, it makes us get to look at stuff a little bit differently. So the fact that winter wasn't very harsh here, that kind of made it a little bit easier for us. But we know it could be coming. You know how much I hate the cold weather. Sully, I got my baggie on. Or my replacement baggie, sort of. So that's the third thing. And the fourth thing, finally, is the channel and our posting. We've been posting at a much wider range, kind of our updates, our RV Daydream, what you doing, actually. And it's just because once you get out of the RV full-time lifestyle, I just want to show you what kind of it it can look like. The stuff that we're doing as far as the channel and posting videos, we're going to continue to do what we're doing, guys. Stick with us. There'll be changes. Ideally what I'd like to do is grab an RV, just a travel trailer for now, and make it happen. Just to make it to where Heidi and I can get away this summer and we can go camping. But then again, we've never been a camping channel. We've showed what we've done while we're, camping. And the thing that we did that I think a lot of people liked, we just got compliments on the other day, was for First Landing in Virginia. They liked the idea that we went through and showed all of the sites. And I was talking about what could fit and what would be a nice site and stuff like that. I liked when we did that, but, we have to be camping there to do that. And, we haven't been doing it, so we can't be showing it. So, yeah, the campground reviews, I kind of miss that. Now, obviously, we could hop in my truck or Heidi's car and we can go to the local campground and we can walk through and we can show you stuff. But it's a lot more fun when you're there and you're experiencing it, because there's more things that, show their head, I guess you could say, if it's a bad thing, and some of the things that turn out to be nice that you didn't even realize, but since you were there a couple days, it came to mind, wow, this is really nice. For example, like West Branch State Parks in the summer, they had ice cream socials. I didn't know that. They also had, canoe classes where they teach you to, take you out and show you how to canoe or paddleboard or whatever. And I didn't know they did any of that. So that's where this is going. This is an update to cover all that. I'm glad you guys stuck with us all this time. But don't expect, like I said, don't expect OnlyFans on this channel or some version of that to keep views. I think that our content is going to stay the way that it is, and we're happy with everybody we have. And if there's people that don't like that, then that's fine. I understand. That's your thing. One more note, and I'm going to put this out there, and this has nothing to do with what I just talked about, but it does have to do with Thousand Trails. We belong to a Thousand Trails buy-sell group on Facebook. And I did a short the other day about it, and I need to clarify a little bit more. In a nutshell, if you are going to be camping, and you're going to be camping a lot, and if you're going to be full-timing, Thousand Trails membership, I don't care what it costs, it will pay for itself. You don't lose money. So we have these people that are trying to buy used, and they're arguing with other members that have, like, I'll just use the example of the Adventure membership, which we had. The Adventure membership can only be sold to or by the original purchaser. So the person that's selling it is the person that bought it new. So whenever somebody is buying it used, the very first thing that they use as an argument of trying to get those people to sell it cheaper is, well, yeah, but I can't resell it. Who cares? It's just like a car. The guy that bought the car from the dealer is taking the biggest hit on it by reselling it to you now used a couple years later, 3 years later. For you to buy it and say, yeah, I'm not going to get the same kind of money out of it, though, if I sell it. Of course not. You can't always make the decision on what is it going to be worth a year down the road, 3 years down the road, 6 years down the road. If you need a truck, you buy a truck. And you buy the truck that fits your needs then. Don't think about, well, this would be good for resale, because you have no idea what's going to happen down the road for resale. Like, nobody could have guessed that trucks that were purchased in 2019, which we did, and 2020, which we did, once those shortages happened, those values were just going to go through the roof. Nobody had a clue about that. So for somebody to say, yeah, well, I need to make sure that it keeps value for when I want to resell it. Nuh-uh. The same with those Thousand Trails memberships. Buy it for the reason that you need now. You know, buy it for that reason. Don't buy it for, oh, that's just a nicety. You know, like the Odyssey, the Thousand Trails Odyssey program, that can be resold over and over again. I don't know how many times, but there's some of those programs that Thousand Trails, you know, some of their old contracts, their old memberships, that you can buy and sell it indefinitely, forever. It'll be there for the next decade, the next 20 years, 30 years. But don't use that as a consideration when you're purchasing it. It's just a nicety that might add some value to it. But the thing is if you use the system, if you use the Thousand Trails Park system, the way that it's meant to be used, and you use it a lot, it will pay for itself. So anyways, that's it. That's all.
Good morning, YouTube. I have to do a truck repair. That's kind of RV related, right? Could have a truck, might need a repair. I think I found where it's had a leak since the day we got it, and I couldn't figure out where it was leaking at necessarily. I didn't really look hard, to tell you the truth, at all. I just kind of like, oh, wonder what this is on the ground, and I felt that it was some kind of a fluid, not an oil, but either a power steering fluid or transmission fluid. Solly, check this out. The return of the actual baggie. Now, there's always a story. You guys know there's always a story. And the first story starts with the word A, and it's a woman's name. And everybody gets upset when I say it because their devices go crazy. Turn on garage light. Sully dude. Michael Sullivan. I don't know what he goes by now. I don't know what his channel is. Sully stopped by our house a few times. And we met up with him on the road one time. Hope you're doing good out there, Sully. I think you're down in Texas. Sully one time said, oh, he's got a baggie on. You got a baggie on. And this is a Centos uniform top that can't be purchased anymore. Back in 2000, the company that I worked for gave the Centos, this size, this color, this style of pullover, windbreaker, whatever you want to call it. They gave it away as a, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. If it was a promotion or we did a good job or something. It used to say Auto Quick here. And if you go back on my channel, Fox Boss 9, you'll see me wearing that shirt. Seeing how that channel started back in 2007. You may actually see me making some repairs, and I have that jacket on. Well, what happens is whenever you get it stained with oil, like you can see here, it's starting to get stained. For whatever reason, I was wearing out this section. I wonder why I'd wear out this section. Anyways, of course, my belly's protruding there, and that causes it. But also, you know, I'm always rubbing against and holding, you know, when you're working with stuff kind of close, you know, you're always rubbing that area, and it wore it out. So I'd actually cut it off at one point because there's another liner that's inside, a real thin liner. I wore that jacket until it couldn't be worn anymore, and I ordered another one of these from Centos, and it was like $65. But I thought, you know, that one lasted so long. Working in it on almost a daily basis. So the next one that I got, I tried to keep clean, but I was working in it still, and then of course it got dirty. Just like it starts like this. It starts with a few stains, and that's pretty much it. It goes downhill from there. Anyways, this is the fourth one that I've bought, and this is the last one because they don't make it anymore. So what am I doing? Here, I'll show you. So Heidi picked me up, I think it's a 3/8. I told her, I said I wasn't sure, just grab them all. But I'm pretty sure it's 3/8. Maybe not. So this is the line coming out of the cooler, the transmission cooler of the truck. And it seemed like it was leaking here. Although these type of fittings are different than what I'm getting ready to put on. The fitting still turned. It still spun. And I thought, well, maybe it's leaking there, so I'll tighten it. And just like everything else I do, Heidi
Heidi gives me the business about this all the time. I always over tighten and I break. So I broke the fitting. I mean, I thought it was, tell you the truth, I thought it was a compression style fitting like this. And it's not. It's got a ferrule that bottoms out. If I would have known that, I probably wouldn't have tightened it as much. Is that where I think that it's leaking at? No. But if you want to learn a lesson about working on something, if you have, let's say, a steering wobble on your front end, and you're trying to repair it, but you also know that you have a gas tank leak in the back, that doesn't apply. That does not apply. However, if you have a braking issue that you can't really figure out, and you have a wobble on the front end because you need, let's say, new ball joints, just replace the ball joints. And although that shouldn't have a direct relation of the problem of a braking issue, you never know. The good news is when you do that, sometimes you run across stuff as you're working that points to why you're having the issue that you're trying to address in the first place. So in this case, I don't necessarily think this is the transmission leak, but since it was loose and it was spinning around, it just seemed awful flimsy. I decided to tighten it. It broke, so now I'm going to repair it, which this is another bad thing about getting involved with getting back into repairs like I used to. I don't necessarily know where my stuff is, where all my stuff is, and I don't know if I have I hate the way I've got my tools. My tools are set up for on the road. I don't know if I've got all the tools that I used to in place. I think I have a cutoff tool in here somewhere. Let's see here. If you guys see it, just yell out. Holy cow. My brother-in-law gave this out as best man gifts back when my sister and him got married. And I still have it. It's actually really nice. It should sharpen this up. The only thing is I'll show you here. I tried to clean off a battery years ago, and it took the chrome plating or whatever it is off of the knife, which is weird. The acid kind of took that off. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but this is from a company that's local to me now. It's Things Remembered. But yeah, they've been married forever. All right, see how I get sidetracked? So I'm looking for, yeah, I don't think I'm going to find it. I thought it was in here. Maybe it's in the top. And I know I have extra room in the metric drawer. And there's something for all you people that are overseas. I've talked about this in the past. You know, I get this a lot of, you know, Americans they need to get into the metric system and metric this and metric's better. Well, I know metric's better. The thing is that's not what we've been doing for all these years, and it's highly embedded in our culture. It's not like you can just stop speaking English and change to another language because everybody's speaking it. It's a hard thing to do, and our language that we speak is standard. So the fact that back in the 70s, I remember in school, they pushed the metric system on us so hard as kids, talking about how that's this new system, that's what we're going to, that's what we're going to talk, you know, that's how we're going to do things from now on. And I remember just hating that class because, you know, I had already at that point in time understood, you know, increments, you know, eighths, 16ths, 30 seconds, quarters. You know, you understand how to measure stuff, you know, a foot, an inch, a yard, all that stuff. And of course they're pushing metric and all this base 10 stuff, and it just was horrible. So because of that push, we actually started saying, oh, okay, yeah, automakers, it's okay. Start letting some of that metric stuff that you're importing come over. It's okay. Whereas before, we always wanted it to be standard for the most part. So, all you people are like, got that metric. You guys need to be in metric. Yeah, well, I had twice this much, and I still have more. Matter of fact, yeah, here's more. Those are all metric. I want you to show me all your standard tools that you have in your toolbox. I've got to have 2 sets of tools because the metric's supposed to be better. That was my quotation marks, by the way. All right, let me start looking for this thing because this is not going to get me anywhere. Again, you got to remember how my brain works. I had a container that was specialty tools, and that's what this was in. I actually had a few cutters. I forgot all the stuff that's in here. There's my calipers. There's a fuel pressure gauge with the Schrader attachment for a fuel rail for a Ford. Here is some, what's that called? The bed rug mount stuff for the truck. Here's a vacuum pressure gauge. There's some crazy side cutters in here. Oh, these are weird. Wonder why I kept these. I think this was Heidi's grandparents, maybe. That's what I'm guessing. Anyways, stethoscope, a specific hole saw. Look at this. Boing. So I get a couple of those. I'll probably use this one because this one's been around the block a few times. See, this is one of the things that I hate. I used to have a really nice wire wheel that had a soft brass spinning wheel on it that I would just go over, and I don't have crocus cloth anymore or anything like that. So here I am with a wire brush cleaning off the ends, which it's just, again, and you can see kind of what I'm doing here. This is why this part of the shirt always wears out, this kind of stuff. Okay, so like everything else, I got into it further than I wanted to. To get to the transmission lines, or at least to see the transmission lines that I needed to replace or that I had to work on, which they are transmission lines, I had to get the shroud out of the way so I could see what was going on. And you have to at least take the fan loose. I don't have the clutch fan tool to remove the clutch fan. I'd have to go get it at the auto parts store. But anyways, I had to pull off the clutch fan just to get this backed off enough to see what's going on here. And it's, as Heidi said, it's Mickey Moused. So both of these lines should not have those fittings on them. The upper one and the bottom one. Now, as far as I know, the upper one is okay. Maybe I should look at that a little bit more. I'm having Heidi order the bottom one. It's like $50, and it goes from right there that we're seeing at the bottom where the light's pronounced more than anywhere else, and then above the power steering box, and then over to the auxiliary cooler that's on the front, which we can see it through here. It goes to that line that's right there. So the problem is those lines rust out. It's a common thing. You can see the thing that's dripping there, and then the fittings right there that goes up into the cooler. That's supposed to all be one piece. Well, when it rusted out, the guy's like, oh, I'm just going to replace, I ain't paying $50 for that line. I'm just going to buy some line and make it work. Well, it didn't work. So the other problem would be, see, this line here goes all the way back to the transmission, and then it goes up to that other fitting that I was just talking about. Hopefully that one's not leaking. I'm going to double check, take a look at it again. Let me take a look at all this, and I think that's going to do it for today, because I got to go in and do some editing So, yeah. And what's this look like to you? Yep, that's right. It's Ohio. It looks like Ohio. When you want to picture Ohio on an average day, especially Northeast Ohio, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like on an average day. Wet ground, soggy ground, cooler, and gloomy.